Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Bucket's Farm. We're again in the lambing shed. Very noisy. The ewes are waiting to be fed. I just was making some food up and they heard me and they're like crying out for it now. So we can feed the ewes. We'll do it and you can watch me feed all the sheep. Nothing lambing at the moment, I'm afraid. No, we've got no lambs to show you. But I've got some brand new lambs that were born half an hour ago to show you, and the lambs that were born in the night. And we've got lots of ideas of what we can do. Just one of those things. I wanted you to see lambs being born at this time because normally it's the busiest time, but I can't help it not happening. Maybe tomorrow, or if it's not tomorrow, I've got a little bit of an idea we could do. Do you remember we could go out and some of the trips we had one lamb called Tiny, wasn't it? Remember, he's been outside for about a week now. Perhaps if it's nothing going on tomorrow, we could go into the field and check the ewes and lambs that are running around. And it's great at this time in the morning because they're all prancing around and dancing around the field, especially early in the morning, and they tend to sleep during the day and they dance around in the morning and early evening as well. So we might get a lamb yet. We'll check the ewes. There might be something lambing. First of all, let's get these sheep to be quiet, give them some food. Bear with me. I need to make the food. I didn't prep this one.
Morning, Louie. Hello. Morning, Danielle. Morning, Jessica. Thanks for joining us this morning. Martin, I'm going to go and have a look at the sheep. So if you've just joined us, sadly we don't have anything lambing at the moment, although if you've joined us in most of our videos, you'll know that quite often we don't think anything's lambing, and then by the end of the video, we do have something lambing. So we'll keep a really close eye out. It's so noisy, but that's just because Martin is about to get all the feed ready. We're about to feed them, and we always sort of check them when we're feeding them as well. Here it comes. Louis loves the feeding time. Woo! Louis.
Best time to look at our ewes properly as well, because when they're feeding I can walk around behind them and make sure there's nothing untoward. Sometimes you get a ewe that's tried to lamb and given up. Occasionally you'll look behind and you'll see a little tail. The ewe's got a bad breech, she tried to push it out, it got stuck, and she's just given up and she's feeding. Let's have a quick check. Look at the size of this ewe. She's a triplet. She's absolutely massive. The lambs are going to be huge. She's got to pop any time, I'm sure. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, and if she does today, we'll go live, all right? All's good in here. Quick count, head count in here. What I'm feeding these ewes is important now. They're milking. I'm going to feed them 1 pound of food a head. So quick count up without falling asleep. Counting sheep is quite difficult. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. 23 plus 30. Let's give an extra pound for that. £23. Back in a second.
We don't have anything lambing at the moment, but we are just feeding the sheep this morning, hence the noise, so I hope you can hear us all. Before we go, we'll have another quick check round just to make sure nothing's lambing, but nothing at the moment, I'm afraid. So in here we have the muddle up pen.
it's a good chance to excuse me. It's a good chance now. This is a mudlark, so these are all lambs. Remember this one? He's getting bigger by the day. Off you go, mate. Good chance to check all the lambs. We feel their mouths aren't wet, because sometimes they get a wet mouth, and it's a problem some lambs get called watery mouth. They all look good, but you have to have a good look around. Anything sitting in the corner, maybe not feeling very well. Let's check. I mean, I could just see that these lambs, they all look well. I don't need to pick them up. They're really happy, aren't they? They're content. I don't want to pick them up because I don't want to disturb them. There's a couple over here in the corner. Let's check them. Let's pick him up, see if he does a big stretch and yawn. Come on, tail. Come on. It's a nice big stretch.
He did it. You missed it.
Oh. You're absolutely fine. I can feel he's full of milk. It's nice and warm. Ready to go out to the field, I say. They all look good. Right. I'm going to feed those because it's too noisy. Count them.
Lisa, Joe, lovely to have you with us this morning. We've just started this morning by feeding all the ewes and Gertie, of course. We've got our pregnant ewes over here. They were fed first this morning, and then we've got our muddle up here. All the lambs and ewes are looking good, skipping around, and then we have our larger muddle up over here. Martin's just got to get the food, so we'll give them a good feed as well. Very noisy!
Come in, we'll check these lambs as well.
They love it, the lambs.
You remember what we were saying just before? The best time for lambs to charge around. This time in the morning or just as the sun's going down at night. They just charge around like crazy.
Oh, Martin, I've got a question here.
Yeah.
Clarissa, she says, do you dock the lamb's tails? And I suppose it's worth telling everyone why we do that.
Yeah, I'll show you on one. And there's one lamb in here.
Here they go.
Charge. Oh, I didn't do it. Probably because we're standing here. Right, let's find ourselves a lamb. So all these lambs are a few days, well, they're probably 4 or 5 days old, some of these. Most of these are ready to go out to the field now. They're looking really well. You can see everyone's charging around, having a great time. This lamb will show you what we do. So we put this rubber ring on the tail. Now when we put it on, we make sure we leave enough tail here to cover all the lamb's private bits. And also, it will hurt the lamb. Well, that's why we do it at a very young age, but it will only hurt the lamb for about 10 minutes. Then it is completely numb. And it does sound a little bit mean, I know, but we do it for very, very good reasons. Because there's something called fly strike in sheep, and a sheep with a long tail will get covered in poo, especially in the spring when the grass is really, really good. They'll eat that grass and they get lots of poo everywhere. And with that comes the sunshine, and with the sunshine comes the flies. And there's one type of fly, a blowfly, that will lay its eggs in the poo around the tail. And some of you have got pet rabbits, it's the same thing, exactly the same thing. They get fly strike, and the maggots will hatch, and they will bore into the sheep, and it's really not very nice. It's the worst way that a sheep can die, even. Lots of sheep die in this country from fly strike every year, and I don't want to see that. It's not very nice, and that's pain and suffering we don't need to bring on any animal. So for that reason, I keep the tail short, I keep it clean. You can see on all my ewes, I've already dagged the ewes. Can you see their bums? That was a lot of hard work, but I did it because I know that if the ewes get dirty bottoms, they're going to get fly strike.
And when does that happen? What time of year?
Well, it can happen from any time from now. I mean, it's still early. I haven't seen any fly strike yet. Some years it comes really early, and some years, you know, like in the autumn, you can get some really hot days in the autumn. Also, you can get strike then. It's a mixture of the conditions, but it's those damp, sort of muggy kind of hot days, and the sheep's wool is damp, and that's the worst time. So we take every precaution possible, because I've seen it lots of times as in my life, and I don't like seeing it, and we want to keep that under control. So that's why we do it.
How do you spot it if a ewe does have it out in the field? What do you have to look for?
Yeah, well, some
it's
ewes.
Quite a skill, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good skill, and that's what stockmanship is all about. If anyone's interested in checking animals, it's about experience. It's not, you can teach what you can teach, but a lot of it's experience and watching animals and looking at how they behave. You know, if I go out in the field, I can see strike quite quickly, even in its early stages. Quick waggle of the tail to be irritated. When it's slightly worse, when it's progressed a little further, you'll see discolouring of the wool. Not always here. Sometimes it's on the shoulder. And that's why we often move our sheep around a lot, because where there's a lot of sheep poo in the field, we want to put them on a clean pasture again where there's no poo, because the flies won't land on clean wool. Keep them clean and they'll be fine. Right, so we've got some more to feed to keep them quiet. We've got 2 more pens to feed. We may as well do it now. It's done then, isn't it?
And did you say we had some twins this morning already? So we'll check them out as well?
Yeah, in the pen we're going to feed next is all the new lambs, so we'll have a look at those as well.
Amazing.
All right, oh, and the orphans, I've made their pen different. They're growing so fast that they didn't fit in their pen very much anymore, so I had to make it bigger. And they loved it, and they're charging around as well. We'll look at them.
Becky has just asked, how long does it take for the tail to drop off?
It varies, about 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say. You know, if you lived in the countryside down in Dorset, or where there's a lot of sheep, you walk around in the footpaths, you'll see towels lying in the grass. Right, let's go. Where's my bag? I know. Hannah's just pointed out to me, actually. You can have a look. That lamb's got a blue dot on his head that I showed you. That's why I picked him and demonstrated to you, because I knew that he had a bad leg. Oh, doesn't want to play that game.
What's happened? Do we know?
I believe he's got a physical injury. But there's also something that can cause lameness in sheep, especially in young lambs, called joint ill. It's when they get an infection through the navel. And that's why we iodine the navel, to stop that happening. Joint ill is a problem in the knee joints. I felt his knee joints, there is no swelling at all, so I don't think it is that. But I've given him a precautionary penicillin injection, which I'll follow up tomorrow, and that's why I've marked him. Because, you know, misuse of antibiotics is a thing we need to avoid on farms. Some farmers use far too many antibiotics, and we don't. We only want to use them as and when necessary. And when you do a course, you need to complete that course. It's so important. So I've left him in. I felt his belly. He's got a warm nose. Excuse me. His mum comes back to him. He has a feed. He's just got a sore leg. It's very possible that you just stood on him or pushed him over. And with that kind of injury, it's just a little bit of time that will help. If he gets any worse, there's other things we can do. We can give him an anti-inflammatory if we find any swelling or anything like that. Let's go.
ladies. Yeah, there's lots of our Shetland sheep in here. And we've still got 1, 2, 3 Jacobs still to go. Doesn't look like anything's lambing. I'm just looking out for any ewes taking themselves off. They sometimes just make their way to a corner out of the way, pawing at the ground, stargazing, so curling their head back looking at the stars, but they all look quite quiet.
Good. Come in here, hang on, have a look at these. We'll look around the back of these to make sure nothing's going on. It's like when you start to feed the sheep, it's like they all shout, "Bundle!" If you're in a field and it's like 150 ewes or something, you try and feed them, you can come completely knocked to the ground and just be trampled on, like come up 5 minutes later for air. They really push you over.
Is when they're pregnant, Martin, feeding sheep is quite an art, really, isn't it? You have to get it right based on the scanning results. Is that right?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, if all the singles over here, the vet student just fed them, and they have half a pound a head, but only once a day, because those lambs, I need to feed them something because I need them to come into good colostrum, good milk, but not too much. Can't let the lambs get too big, and lamb's growth will be in the last 6 weeks before giving birth. Is most of the lamb's growth is then, so we've got to be a little bit careful not to feed them too much to singles. And the triplets, of course, it's the opposite. And the twins, triplets small, they're all mixed up now, the twins, but that's because there's not many left, and they're all full term, so they're going to lamb very soon anyway. But running up to lambing, I had them all in separate groups, and they all had different rations. It's something in triplets and twins called twin lamb disease. It's where the ewe will put all of herself into producing these lambs and nothing for herself, and she'll actually go down with metabolic disorders because of it. But if we keep her well fed, we can avoid that. Right, let's have a look at these new lambs then. So these ones here, so my note this morning when I come in was that they penned up one ewe for being an auntie. So it just said penned up auntie, not lambed yet. That means that every time a lamb was born, this ewe was going over and trying to steal them. And the vet student was probably getting a bit fed up with this because she was trying to nick everyone's lambs. And also, when she left, if one had lambed in that gap when there's nobody here, there's a tiny gap in the night when there's nobody here, she'd have caused a lot of problems then. She'd have started to steal them and nobody would have known. And I'd have come in this morning, she'd have had someone else's lamb, and I've had to work it out what's going on. So I let her out back into the pen as soon as I come in, because it doesn't matter now, because I'm here, I can watch. As soon as I let her out, she lambed. So she was only being an auntie because she was so close. Her hormones were really high and she was close to lambing. She got stacks of milk, fantastic ewe. They could go out now, they don't need to be in. Really, I mean, they're small, don't get me wrong, but they're strong, really strong. Of course they're small, she's a very small ewe. For her, they're not small. For her, you've got to imagine, look at all that to go inside of her. It's quite a lot, isn't it? But she loves them to bits. And these two these are even smaller, these ones.
Were they born in the night as well?
Yeah, these were born, I think, about 2 a.m. A little bit smaller than them. Right, what we do is we're going to have a quick look at we'll look at our mates over here, our Herdwicks, and look at the orphans, and that'll do for today, I think. And hopefully we're going to get some lambings tomorrow. If not, we'll try and think of something cool to do, alright? Let's go and have a look at these first.
Clarissa's 3-year-old is asking, when do pigs have babies? We wish we knew.
It's the same sort of thing. I know when I put the boar in with the sow, and I know how long a pig's pregnant for. It's really cool. The pig's gestation period for a pig is easy to remember. Right, you can all remember this one. It's 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. Even I remembered that. And so all I know is when I put him in. And generally you put the boar in 5 days after weaning her last piglet because she comes into season. And you know a sow comes into season every 21 days. Unfortunately, I think she didn't. The sow we got over there didn't get caught on her first season, so she's probably gone over to the next one. So I'm sure she will farrow. I hope so, because she's a good pig. And when she does, we'll do a video and show you. But so it's the same thing. You decide. Pigs are a little bit different in the fact that they're not seasonal breeders. Sheep can't breed all year round. Okay, there's 1 or 2 breeds of sheep that can lamb in the summer. Dorsets, for example.
We lamb them at Christmas, don't we?
We lamb them at Christmas, but if we wanted to, we could lamb them again in the summer. But that's not for us, really. We don't want to push them that hard. Once a year is plenty for a sheep. But pigs are different. Pigs will lamb all year round. So we can have piglets anytime we like. So we just decide when we want them.
Lovely.
Morning, Gareth.
Hi, Gareth.
Perfect. So this is the orphan pen now. They stopped charging around now. Do you remember we had 2 yesterday that we were still, the 2 newest ones, 2 green dots. So I have to mark them because I need to recognise who is who. The blue dot is there, he's fine now. These 2, it's funny, isn't it? They stick together. The newest recruits are staying together in the orphan pen. They're still looking to me for milk, but we don't want them to look to me, we want them to look to the bucket. Over here, guys. That's good. Perfect. On you go. Oops. So he's learning well. He's doing good. I just slowly brought him over. He's still looking back to me, pointing back towards the bucket again. Off we go. And you can leave latching on. I have to hold this one on. He's not as good yet. He's not that hungry, to be honest. He was just chewing the teeth. But look. So now I can mark this one again. I think this one's going to be all right. I need to check him, but I'm not going to bottle that one anymore. He knows where the milk is. He can take it. Okay. Let's have a look at the Herdwicks.
How are they doing, the Herdwicks? She didn't have that much milk.
No, she was. Remember, she was the old ewe. Didn't have a lot. And stay there. But this morning when I checked them, I haven't fed them a bottle today because I think they're fine now. Just doing fine.
Do they get shorn when they're 1 or 2?
The first,
in the first year?
No, they don't get shorn in the first year. All sheep, the second year, they get shorn as hoggets. We call them hoggets. They get shear the hoggets.
So next summer?
These won't get shorn this summer, the following summer. And that won't be till June. We don't want to shear. I know you can have it. Some people often say, "Oh, look, he hasn't sheared his sheep yet, and it's really hot in May." But there's good reasons for that. For one reason, we want to shear in June, and even late June is fine, because we don't want too much regrowth in the autumn, because it can be very hot in the autumn as well. And also, it's not just about being too hot. Sheep know how to keep themselves cool. You see a flock of sheep in the sunshine. They tend to gather together. It's quite complicated, but they perspirate and they use their fleece to keep them cool as well as warm. It works both ways. Anyway, they're doing all right, aren't you, lads? Yes, we are. Right, so we're going to still leave her in for a couple of days. What I'd probably do is put her in a little paddock. We'll have an old age pensioners paddock where we can keep a special eye and feed them special treats. We'll do it in the farm park where everyone can see, because you know they're going to. I said before about their teeth. I don't know if she's all right with her teeth or not. I don't want to hurt her, but if I can show you, let's have a look. Well, she has got
She's
a
got
full
good
mouth.
teeth.
She's got good teeth actually. So her teeth are fine, so she can use the grass. I was worried that her teeth had already gone, but they haven't. So she's a little bit thin, but then in some ways that's her type. She's a herdwick. They don't have good conformation. They're shit like that. So cool. I hope she'll be fine. Right. Oh yeah. So did we show? No, we didn't show these yesterday. Alpacas. So we brought the alpacas in.
Here, I'll come round. Few people asking about the pig. She hasn't farrowed yet this
No,
morning.
I already checked. No joy there. I don't think she's going to actually for a couple of weeks now. She just doesn't look. You know when an animal looks ready to give birth, their udder fills out. It goes all shiny. They just look very heavily pregnant. They look like they're going to drop. Their belly drops. Sometimes you can feel the piglets as well from the outside. Right, we've got 5 alpacas in here.
It's baby Luna.
Yeah, so there's 6. One of them is a baby from. How old is Luna now?
Coming up to 2.
Okay. She's a little bit short, isn't she?
Yeah.
So these are all pregnant. We've got a stud bull. He's over there called Bernard. Let's have a look. So can we see him? He's the dad. He's looking on. Just about to see Bernard. Hello, mate. You're
And
watching,
Bob
aren't
over
you?
there.
And Bob, so he's still got Bob. So we've got these 5 ladies we brought in yesterday, and I brought them in because when I put them to calve down at the end of this month, start of May.
On the 1st of May, I think they're due, aren't they?
I think it is the 1st of May. So we know that alpacas are pregnant for about 11 months. They have their babies, they're called crias. They generally, I think they always have one. Actually. I've never heard of a twin in an alpaca. And also, I've got Sian, who is a lovely lady that helps me out with all, who's an expert in alpacas, because I'm not an expert in alpacas, but we know a fair bit. She tells me that the alpacas generally always will cria, I shouldn't say calve, it's cria, between 9 and 11 in the morning. And she says that she's never known one not do that.
Wow.
So that gives us a good opportunity to have the camera ready, and we can film it. And you'd love to see that. I mean, it's amazing. I've seen it a few times, but it's quite amazing. Something completely different to see.
And we've never had to help an alpaca, have we?
No, you're always tempted because we're so used to sheep and cattle that we need to help. But I remember when Luna was born, we were stood here watching, and it was like, should we need to go in and help? But we held our cool. We stood back. She gave birth to Luna, and Luna didn't move. And we were all dying to go in and clear its mouth and do all our stuff, but we didn't, because we knew that's not the thing to do. They're normally absolutely fine. And sure enough, they're absolutely fine.
It was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking.
So, and we've never had so many alpacas have careers here before, so it will look so cool with these 5 babies running round, and we put them in a paddock after they've had them, and it will look really cool. And hopefully we can see. We'll make an effort to try and see that. Should we do that, Anne?
Yes,
Good idea.
definitely.
Brilliant. Okay, I think we'll call it a day at that. Sorry, no lambings today, but we've done a few bits. Made me run around, made me sweat. At least I'm not cold anymore. We'll think of some other cool stuff to do. And now we've got this big new barn. There's lots of exciting things going to be going on all year, I'm sure. So we've got lots of opportunities to do loads of live videos.
If anything starts this morning, Martin, and you're not too busy, give me a shout and I could pop up.
I will indeed, and hopefully we'll see some lambs being born. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate your comments, and you need to turn your notifications on for that, because obviously you won't know we're going to do it, just to know if you want to see it. Right, thanks guys, and I'll see you later or tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.